Cinnamon Coke. It's one of their concoctions for the holiday season. It's actually pretty good. I like the orange vanilla Coke a little better, and of course regular Coke and cherry Coke. But cinnamon Coke's pretty good. I think my favorite holiday concoction by a soft drink company would be the Merry Mashup by Mountain Dew. I'm more partial to Mountain Dew myself, so um, but this is pretty good. I don't know why I feel like I'm doing a commercial for Cinnamon Coke. I don't know. But if I was, and not that I am, I'm not a partner on YouTube. You won't see ads before my channel or during my channel. So I guess because of that, now I guess I'll do like my own little. It's the first and only time you'll see an ad for Mighty Fan here. But Cinnamon Coke have the festive taste of the holidays. Okay, moving on. Moving on from that. Welcome to week 16 of the NFL season. Week 15. See, the Cinnamon Coke screwed me up. Week 15 of the... I'm jumping ahead. I'm so excited for week 16, of course, the game against Dallas. Week 15 in the NFL schedule, of course, the 2019-2020 season. The Eagles, of course, coming off an ugly but good and much-needed victory against those New York Football Giants, of course, 23-17, the overtime win. Carson Wentz with the game-tying drive late in the fourth, the game-winning drive in overtime, and even with all the injuries to wide receivers and cut wide receivers and whatever, with the wide receiver position, they still were able to get the dub. And now, of course, look, I'm going to try to keep this, I know, oh my God, I'm going to try to keep this short. Because really, there's not much to say before this game, okay? All I'm going to tell Eagles Nation out there and the Philadelphia Eagles is to learn from the mistake made a few weeks ago when they overlooked the last time they were on the road and they overlooked Miami. And we all know how that went. Dolphins didn't score a touchdown last week. See, they used it all up. It just, you see that offense last week against the Jets. That's the offense that scored 5 straight touchdowns against. Sports can be funny though. It really can. It's a week-to-week deal. You just never know. But I mean, it's just come on, man. Really. I tell you, Fitzpatrick only plays good against the Eagles. I swear to God, that guy. He has this personal vendetta against the Eagles for whatever reason. Maybe something happened with him in another life. Maybe before that he was like a member of a team that like lost to the Eagles and he always wanted to get us back. I don't know, but I have no idea. But Eagles, please learn from that. Every game is big here. You don't have, it's preaching to the choir. Every game is big from now on. And obviously, you're playing against a poor Washington team. Right now, the Eagles are below 500. Okay, so it's not like they're much better, but record-wise, they are better than the Redskins. They're 6-7. The Redskins have 3 wins. Just find a way to get a win. I don't care if it's like I said before. I don't care how you win, just win. The end score to me is not that important, particularly this time of year. It's just about getting as many W's and as many notches, I should say, in that W column in December than else. Particularly if you're in a tight division race as they are right now because of that win last week. They're tied with Dallas, both 6-7. The Eagles on paper have an easier game against Washington, albeit a division rival game on the road. It will basically be a home game. There will be more Eagle fans there. But on the road, nonetheless, in Landover against the Redskins. Of course, Dallas playing at home against the Rams, who have found themselves in recent weeks. So on paper, and what you can do with paper, but on paper, the Eagles have the easier game. Not that matters, because the Eagles had the easier game some weeks ago and they lost to the hapless Miami Dolphins badly. It's one of those things that just burned into memory, that game. But the Eagles have an opportunity here, even with all of that, even with all that's been going on, to get a win against the Redskins, to get to 500. And you know what Dallas does with teams that are at 500 or better? Not very good. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. But the Rams are above 500, Dallas. They're above 500. Kryptonite. So Even more reason to win this game. So at least the Eagles could be 500 when they play Dallas, who struggles against teams that are 500 and up. Not saying that that's always going to be the case, but it has been in recent time. But no, it is an important game. The Eagles have to come out and get this W, because if they can do that and Dallas loses to the Rams, which could happen, now all of a sudden you're in a game next week to win the division at home against Dallas, who basically at that point is like giving up on their coach. You never want to say giving up on the season, but probably for all intents and purposes that they want their coach out of there. There's all this infighting, whatever. Basically, they're coming into, there you go. They're coming in basically on a sinking ship at that point. Not to say it will be easy to beat them, because for whatever reason the Eagles have had trouble against Dallas in recent time. But again, we get this W tomorrow, Dallas loses, the Eagles have the division lead, and you have 2 games basically to go to win the division. Possibly 1 game to win the division at home next week against Dallas in a big game. And I have some friends coming over next weekend. Big Slim will be here. A host of others I've invited, the crew for the game. So, the captain and Tony and Mark M. And, so they're, I'm going to have some friends here, some fellow Eagle fans, and we're all hoping, to see a big victory next week. But we'll get to that then. Right now it's week 15. There, I said it right that time. Now, right now it's week 15, and we're taking on the Redskins. And listen, again, it's something I do believe firmly in. You can't look at records right now, because if you look at records, you're just doomed for failure. Okay, 0-0. That's what it is right now. That's what it was last week. That's what it is this week. 0-0. I don't care. The Redskins have 3 wins. Yeah, they have some injuries too. Kerrigan isn't going to play. Ioannidis, I don't believe, is playing. Darius Geis, of course, hurt again. Out for the rest of his season. So, yeah, they're an injured team, but we're an injured team. I think we're only fielding like 3 receivers again this week. So, and 1 guy up off the practice squad, which, look, I mean, Ward has done pretty good off the practice squad. So maybe that is better. Maybe it's guys that want to prove themselves in this league. Maybe it's better to have guys like that at this point than guys who have, for the most part, failed on this team to this point. And I'm not wishing injuries on anyone. I know Alshon's out for the rest of the season. Aguilar, alligator arms, what I call him. I don't know if he's going to play or not the rest of the season. But hey, you give other guys a shot. Maybe that's that shot in the arm that this team needs offensively. We saw Boston Scott last week have a big part of this team's win against the Giants. Miles Sanders is a young player who I still wish they would use more. Really one of the only explosive weapons they have on offense. And obviously the tight ends, Goddard and Ertz. I mean, everyone's got to step up. I know Lane Johnson is going to be out this week. That's a big loss. But the Redskins' pass rush might not be what they were with guys like Kerrigan out, Ioannidis. So, we'll see. But they're still, look, I mean, you're still playing them in that building, although the home crowd might not be the greatest of home crowds. But it's still a road game, and you have to approach this game as a business trip. They didn't approach the Miami game as a business trip. They got to approach this game as a business trip. That's what it is. It's a shorter trip on the train going down to, to D.C. Get it done. Get it done. No excuses. No excuses. I know the Redskins have been in a lot of games and couldn't quite close out some games, but it's still a team that if the Eagles play their game, they should beat. I mean, they should beat, particularly defensively against that offense. You're going up against a rookie quarterback, makes mistakes, turns the ball over, get some turnovers. Set the tone. Set the tone early on defense and certainly with offense too. And I know offense. I'm not expecting them to put up a ton of points, but this offense still should be able to score enough points to beat the Redskins. And we'll deal with the next week and the week after. We'll deal with it week to week. But at this point, like I said, you're going up against inexperienced at quarterback. Get after him. Get after him. Don't let him be comfortable. Because I don't care what quarterback. I mean, we've seen this. I don't care who the quarterback is. If you let a quarterback get comfortable, they're going to hurt you. So find a way. I know the Redskins have some, they have some talent at the wide receiver position. So, again, it's not. I wouldn't say it's the easiest game in the world, but at the same time, it's a beatable opponent. Even if it's on the road, it's a beatable opponent. And at this time of the season, you can't afford a loss right now. You can't, regardless of what Dallas does. You can't afford a loss. You gotta you gotta get a win. It's a must win, basically. As much as everyone is looking ahead to next week, it's a must-win this week to possibly get the division lead, and then we're playing for shirts and hats next week, against Dallas. So find a way. Just find a way, play their game, get a W, get out of D.C. with a win, sweep the Redskins this season, and you know what? There you go. Go have some, oh my God, momentum. Which has been trouble for this team to have this season. Get some momentum. The coaching staff has to coach better, too. Doug Peterson has to do better with the play calling. The coaching staff around him has to do better. And are we expecting miracles at this point? No, even though it's the season of miracles. It's like in Die Hard. It's the season of miracles, Theo. Han's telling him that. I give you the FBI. Yeah, but anyhow, I love that movie. That is a holiday movie. I know a lot of people, debate about it. It's a holiday action movie, but it's a holiday movie, and Die Hard is a must every year for the holidays. I saw it the other night. It's an absolute must. But anyhow, Eagles, listen, again, get this W. Get it done. Find a way. Get a win, come back, 2 straight wins against division opponents, which is big, with the tiebreaker situations and everything. Division opponents, get that W. And then, if Dallas loses, which they probably will because they're playing an above 500 team, we're playing for a division championship next week. Like I said, it's T-shirts and hats next week if they can beat Dallas. And look, there's a long way to go before that. Obviously, there's this week's game and the next week, but regardless, whatever happens in the Dallas game, we got to take care of our business. Because if the Eagles don't take care of their business, look, whatever happens in Dallas happens. It didn't matter, some weeks ago when Dallas lost on Thanksgiving to Buffalo because the Eagles lost to the frickin' Dolphins. Fitzpatrick, the bearded. Anyhow, honestly, and last week, look, it was better. Dallas lost, we won. And at this point, like I said, this point in the season, it's a close division race. It's a bad division. I will absolutely agree to that, but it doesn't matter to me. We're in the division. What can we do? Find a way to win it. Get a home game in the wild card round, and you never know what can happen, at this point. So, again, important to get the W, get it done, no excuses. Don't overlook Washington the way they overlooked Miami. You'll come out with a win, and then we worry about next week and next weekend with the man cave full of friends here. But we'll see what happens. Anyhow, let's get on to the weekly Festive 4. Festive last week was 3-1 in the picks. The only pick that was not done correctly was Denver. Houston losing to Denver. Festive's not very happy about that. Festive wanted to be perfect last week, but it is what it is. Don't expect a nice Christmas card for the Texans from Festive, but this week's Festive 4. So Festive comes into this week the record of 35-17, and that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good record. Festive likes this week in the Festive 4 again, just 4 winners. Festive likes the Rams over Dallas. I guess no surprise there, right? Festive wants to see the Rams beat Dallas. Of course, the Eagles win too. Festive also likes Seattle to rebound this week against Carolina. Festive likes Oakland over Jacksonville. And also to round out the Festive 4, Festive likes Cleveland over Arizona. So again, in repeat here, Festive likes the Rams over Dallas, Seattle over Carolina, Oakland over Jacksonville, and Cleveland over Arizona. That's the Festive 4 for Week 15 of the NFL. I don't know why I did that. Of the NFL season. And hopefully Festive will continue with the winning ways. Hopefully the Eagles continue with the winning ways. Hopefully Dallas continues with the losing ways. And we set up next week for a possible division championship on home field at Lincoln Financial Field in a week from today. A week from tomorrow rather. Today's Saturday. So we'll see how it goes. Hey, today's a big game. Obviously tomorrow. Big game, obviously, all the football games for the NFL. But today, the college game is the Army-Navy game being held at Lincoln Financial Field in South Philly. My cousin went to the Navy. I used to go to the game. I went to the game many years ago, a few times, and it's just a great game. If you ever have a chance to get to that game, you make sure to do it because it's awesome. All the pomp and pageantry. You have all the cadets and the midshipmen there. It's really a cool game to go to, and it has a lot of meaning. And the record never matters in that game between the two teams. It doesn't matter if neither team has a win going into that game. That game means everything for Army and Navy. And since I have Navy ties in the family, with all due respect to the Army, I got to say, go Navy! Beat Army! And I know Army won last season. I think they've won the last few seasons, so, Navy's due. So we'll see. It's a great game. 3 o'clock Eastern time on CBS. Make sure you watch it. It's an awesome event. Great game. And you can just tell how much that game means to those players. You talk about a game that means everything to players. That's what that means. And all these men who are on the field, all these men, they go out and they do some even better things in life after that game. But that game, and for that, for the week leading up to it and for that day, I mean, yeah, it's a huge event, and it means so much to Army Navy, and it's a great game. And I'm glad that this year, I know sometimes it moves around, sometimes it's in Maryland. I'm glad it's here in Philly, and Philadelphia hosts that game very well, and it's here again for this year's 2019 Army Navy game, or the Classic. And so hopefully it's the last few years has been a very good game, so we'll see what happens today, but I look forward to watching it. And so there's that. But as always, let's go Birds. Let's keep this winning thing going. Win against the Redskins. Don't worry about the records going into the game. Just win the game. Dallas does whatever they're going to do later in the primetime game against the Rams. But either way, we got to get a dub. We got to get another dub here at Washington, and then we worry about next week. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. From Festive, this is Mighty Fan. Let's go Birds. As I said, let's go Birds. Big, hopeful another big win this weekend, and then we take on those you-know-who next weekend with a lot on the line. All right, everyone, take care. I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you after the game. Bye.